Hi, welcome to my fourth vlog, which will be focusing on sprint drills, specifically the C-skip. Depending on which source you follow, the C-skip can either be heel flicks, an external hip rotation with flexion followed by adduction, or the movement shown in the video. These movements in the video is what I'll be focusing on for my vlog. As can be seen, this is a movement that was new to me, so learning it was a tricky task, and one that frustrated me. So to be able to perform the movement to a better standard, I moved back to some of the regressions of the drill to build into a full C-skip. To start with, I broke the C-skip down into its two component leg movements. Firstly, a hip and knee flexion, and secondly, a hip abduction with external rotation and knee flexion. First of all, I then performed a traditional A-skip, or high knee. This improved the frontal knee drive of the C-skip. Secondly, a knee lift out to the side as part of a skipping motion. This replicated the second component of the C-skip. This is a movement I struggled with due to poor hip mobility, which, as you will see later, affects my C-skip performance. Next, I put this together on one leg, cycling through the movement on one side. This helped me develop the pattern of movement for the full C-skip. The next pattern was to put the full movement together on both legs. As I still struggled with transitioning from one leg to the other, I extended this transition period to every 3 steps. This helped me learn the pattern of the C-skip without any time constraints hindering performance. The penultimate regression to build up to a full C-skip would be to perform the exercise while standing. This allows the athlete to concentrate on the transition rather than the movement forward. With time, I was able to build this up from a slow pace to a reasonable performance speed. The final regression was to perform the C-skip at a walking pace, then slowly build up until I'm at full speed. Now I was able to perform the C-skip successfully, I could analyse the video for any areas I could work on. The first area of improvement is my arm action. This was lazy and didn't result in much movement. As the C-skip is a drill highly pertinent to hurdlers, it is vital that the arm action is correct. As discussed by White and Carty in 2002, the arm action is the most critical point of focus for timing, rhythm and tempo during the flights over the hurdle. As I felt this was down to a lack of skill, I moved on to an overhead C-skip to concentrate on my lower body movements. Another key technical aspect highlighted in the White and Carty article is to run on the balls of your feet. This helps to maintain a sprinter's posture while clearing the hurdles. While mine is by no means bad, getting higher on the balls of my feet is certainly a work on. Maintaining this foot position is also vital for a good lift off the floor as you drive up with the lead leg. This leg drive needs to be as quick and as forceful as possible to allow clearance of the hurdle. In a biomechanical analysis of Colin Jackson's hurdle technique by Coe, Jackson's lead leg drive was nearly 13 meters per second. As mine is at best 3 meters per second, this must be increased. Another important technical skill highlighted by Coe is to land with a high torso and your foot under the centre of mass. This will help absorb the impact after landing and then accelerate away from the hurdle. A final aspect of Colin Jackson's technique, which is pertinent to the C-skip, is keeping oscillations of the hip, shoulder and head to a minimum. This again is something to be worked on in my C-skip, especially around the hip. Finally, the second half of the C-skip replicates the trail leg of a hurdler. This must be able to clear the hurdle through a high abduction and external rotation. Improving the ability to raise my trail leg would improve my C-skip, reducing rotation of the supporting leg, while decreasing the amount of oscillation, especially at the hip. To improve my arm action, I regressed back through the drills to allow time to develop a suitable arm movement pattern. To improve my ability to remain on the balls of my feet, I first performed some calf raises to strengthen the ankle joint, followed by some leg bounds. To improve the speed of my front knee drive, I performed some banded knee drives, followed by some banded step-ups. Finally, to increase the range of abduction during the second half of my C-skip and to reduce the inward rotation of my supporting leg, I performed some hip stretches and rolling. With a greater overall control of the C-skip, this should also reduce the amount of oscillation of my hip, shoulder and head. Although still not technically perfect, my arm action is improving, I am better able to stay on my toes, my knee drive speed is increasing and there's less movement of my hip, shoulder and head. I am also able to abduct my hip without inwardly rotating my support leg. If I have continued to improve my C-skip, further variations could include a banded C-skip or a skip over hurdles. This should start with a walking skip, followed by a skip with the trail leg or second lift going over the hurdle on one side. The final advancement would be to form a full C-skip over hurdles. Thanks for watching.